The moment my mother-in-law pressed send on that text, she signed her family's death warrant. But she didn't know I was reading it in real time. The black girl thinks she's won. Wait until the reception. We'll destroy her in front of everyone. My phone was synced to hers. It had been for 8 months. I'd seen every racist text, every cruel plan, every hateful message. And in exactly 9 minutes, when she grabbed that microphone to humiliate me, I was going to end their entire bloodline's legacy with a single word. No, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take you back to the moment that started it all. The moment the knife went in. I was 11 years old, braiding my little sister's hair in our kitchen, when 2 police officers knocked on our door at 2:17 in the morning. "Mrs. Laurent, we need to speak with you about your husband." My father, Emmanuel Laurent, the man who taught me that patience and intelligence could move mountains, was dead. Shot 3 times in a parking garage. They called it a robbery. Took his briefcase. Left his wallet. I knew better even then. Robbers don't leave a Rolex. They don't leave $400 in cash. They don't shoot someone execution style and only take blueprints. But I was 11. Nobody listens to 11-year-old black girls, even when they're right. Especially when they're right. Fast forward 14 years. I'm 25, working 3 jobs that are slowly killing me. Cashier at Walmart, where customers ask if I can afford to shop there. Tutor for rich kids whose parents make jokes about me being articulate. Caterer at events where I'm invisible until someone needs their glass refilled. That's where I met Marcus Morrison, heir to Morrison Tech Solutions. The company was built on stolen dreams and my father's blood. I was serving champagne at a charity gala when he grabbed my wrist. Not a gentle touch, a possession. "You're far too beautiful to be carrying drinks around like common help." When he offered me $1,200 to sit and talk for an hour, every cell in my body screamed. But I needed that money for Mama's chemotherapy. So I smiled. I sat. I listened to him talk about himself for 60 excruciating minutes, and I planted the first seed. "My mother's really sick," I said, letting my voice crack just enough. Truth. "I'm barely keeping my head above water." Truth. Sometimes I wonder if anyone will ever see me as more than just a girl serving drinks. The lie that would cost him everything. Marcus fell hard. Not for me. For the idea of me. The charity case he could rescue. The project he could fix. The poor black girl he could save and show off to prove he wasn't like other rich white boys. 6 months later, I was meeting his family. That dinner should have sent any sane woman running. His mother, Victoria Morrison, looked at me like I was something she'd scraped off her Louboutin heel. "So, Nia, tell us about your background." "I'm from New Orleans originally." "My father." "No, sweetheart, I mean, where are you really from?" The table went quiet. Marcus said nothing. His father, Richard Morrison, the man who murdered my father, sat across from me cutting his steak like he hadn't destroyed my entire world. "What do you do for work, Nia?" "I work at Walmart. I'm also a tutor and—" Richard actually laughed, not a chuckle. A full condescending laugh that made the crystal chandelier seem to shake. "Walmart? The discount store?" His brother Thomas chimed in. "Well, at least she has a job. That's more than we can say for Marcus's last girlfriend. That dancer was half Vietnamese, Thomas. There's a difference." Victoria's words hung in the air like poison. I smiled through it all, documented everything in my mind. Let them think I was too stupid to understand their coded racism, too desperate to leave, too in love to notice how they looked at me like I was contaminating their bloodline. But here's what the Morrisons didn't know. While they were mocking my Walmart uniform, I was revolutionizing my father's algorithm at 2 in the morning. While they were laughing at my little tutoring business, I was filing patents under a shell company I'd created when I was 19. While they were planning how to break up their son's relationship with the help, I was building the weapon that would annihilate them. My father's final words to me weren't, "I love you" or "be good." They were, "They'll underestimate you because of what you look like. That's when you strike." I was 11 when he said that. I didn't understand it then. But at 25, with a computer science degree I earned while working 3 jobs, with patents worth $400 million, with a position as Senior Director of Corporate Development at Park Enterprises, Morrison's biggest competitor, I understood perfectly. I hadn't stumbled into Marcus Morrison's life. I'd hunted him. The engagement happened exactly as I orchestrated it. I'd spent 3 months planting suggestions through Victoria's hairstylist, who happened to be my Walmart co-worker. That poor Nia keeps looking at wedding dresses online during her lunch break. She told me she's hoping Marcus proposes by summer. She actually thinks they'll let him marry her. Victoria panicked beautifully. She set Marcus up with other women from their country club. She threatened to cut him off financially. She even hired a private investigator to dig up dirt on me. The investigator found exactly what I wanted him to find: a struggling retail worker with a sick mother, a woman buried in debt, someone with everything to gain and nothing to lose. They never looked deeper, never questioned why a Walmart cashier had a degree in computer science from Georgia Tech, never wondered why I always excused myself during their business dinners to take a call from the hospital when I was really closing million-dollar deals, never suspected that their future daughter-in-law had been systematically destroying them for years. Marcus proposed on a yacht. Public, expensive, impossible to take back. I said yes because Park Enterprises had just approved the Morrison acquisition timeline. 4 months of due diligence, 8 weeks of negotiations, final authorization scheduled for my wedding week. Morrison Tech Solutions was drowning. They'd made catastrophic investments in technologies that failed. Their leadership was incompetent. Their stock was plummeting. They needed $875 million to survive. Park Enterprises was their only hope. And I was Park Enterprises' final signature. The wedding planning revealed everything I needed to see. Victoria insisted on controlling every detail. We'll have the ceremony at the yacht club. Our caliber of people only. What about my family, my aunts, my cousins? Your mother can attend if she's presentable. The others? Quality over quantity, darling. Every vendor made calculated comments. We'll use ivory roses. They'll provide a better contrast against your complexion. I specialize in making ethnic features more refined for photography. Don't worry, we'll make sure the lighting doesn't emphasize your darker tones. I documented everything, every insult, every microaggression, every moment they tried to erase who I was. The dress shopping was psychological warfare. Victoria brought her entire social circle, 12 women who looked at me like I was a stain on their perfectly white world. I tried on a simple, elegant dress that I genuinely loved. Absolutely not, Victoria declared. You need structure, support, something to give you a more appropriate shape. I think I look beautiful. You think wrong. We need to minimize certain areas, make you look less urban. Her friend Diane nodded enthusiastically. Have you considered industrial strength shapewear? It works miracles on problem bodies. Problem bodies. I was a size 4. They spent 5 hours discussing how to fix me, how to make me acceptable, how to make me look less black. I bought the Walmart dress that night, online, $39.99. I knew exactly when I'd wear it, when I'd use it as a weapon. 7 days before the wedding, Richard called me into his office. No Marcus, no Victoria, just him, me, and a 50-page prenuptial agreement. Sign this, or there's no wedding. I read every word. If I ever worked in technology, Morrison Tech owned the rights. If I ever started a business, Marcus owned 80%. If we divorced for any reason, I owed them $15 million. It was designed to cage me, to ensure I'd stay poor, dependent, controllable. I signed it with a smile. Because prenuptial agreements are void when signed under fraudulent circumstances. And Richard Morrison hiding the fact that he murdered my father? That's fraud. That's the kind of fraud that doesn't just void contracts, it voids legacies. 3 days before the wedding, Park Enterprises sent their formal offer to Morrison Tech Solutions, $875 million for complete acquisition. The Morrison board erupted in celebration. Champagne flowed. They thought they were saved. The fine print stated that final authorization required one signature from Park's development leadership. Me. But they didn't know that yet. To them, I was still just the girl from Walmart who got lucky. The wedding morning started with an invasion. Victoria burst into my suite at 5:30 in the morning with a hairstylist who looked at my natural curls like they were a crime scene. "We're going to straighten it," the stylist announced. "Make it sleek, appropriate." "No." The word hung in the air. "Excuse me?" Victoria's voice could have cut glass. "No. My hair stays natural. Nia, don't be difficult, not today. My name is Nia Laurent. My father was Emmanuel Laurent, and my hair stays exactly as it is." I watched Victoria's face cycle through emotions, confusion, anger, then something that looked like recognition, terror. "Laurent," she whispered. "That name." "Yes, that name. The name your husband tried to erase, the name he destroyed, the name that's about to destroy him." She ran out making a frantic phone call. Her hands were shaking. Too late, Victoria. 4 years too late. The ceremony was everything they wanted. Cold, expensive, white. So white it hurts to look at. I walked down that aisle knowing it was a funeral march, not for a marriage, for an empire. The vows were lies: love, honor, cherish, obey. They'd specifically added obey to my vows only. "You may kiss the bride." Our first kiss as a married couple, our last kiss as anything. The reception started with cocktails and cruelty. I could hear them whispering. "She actually wore that dress. It looks like something from a clearance rack. I give this marriage 6 months before she gets pregnant and traps him." I smiled through it all. Checked my phone. 8 minutes until the acquisition deadline. 8 minutes until I burned their world down. Then Victoria grabbed the microphone. This was it. The moment I'd been waiting 4 years for. "When Marcus first brought Nia into our lives, I'll be honest, we were shocked." Her voice carried across the ballroom to all 450 guests. Nervous laughter rippled through the crowd. "She wasn't what we expected. Not our background, not our social class, not our type." She paused for effect. "Look at that dress she's wearing. Did she fish it out of a bargain bin at Walmart?" The room exploded in laughter. Phones came out. People started recording. "I'd bet everything I own she doesn't have $300 to her name," someone shouted from the back. Richard stood up, drunk on champagne and power. "Let's be honest about why she's standing here. Some women will spread their legs for a free meal. This one did it for a lifetime meal plan." The crowd went absolutely wild. Marcus laughed. My husband. On our wedding day. Laughed at me. My phone buzzed. Text from Park's CEO. "Ready when you are. Morrison board is assembled and waiting." I stood up slowly. The room started to quiet. They expected tears, expected me to run out humiliated. Instead, I reached into my bouquet and pulled out my phone. "You're absolutely right about the dress," I said into the microphone I'd taken from Victoria's hand. "I did buy it at Walmart. $39.99. Employee discount." A few people laughed nervously. "But you're completely wrong about my bank account." I held up my phone. The screen displayed my Park Enterprises corporate account. $293 million. The laughter stopped. The room went silent. So silent I could hear people breathing. "I'm sorry, did I forget to mention something? I'm the Senior Director of Corporate Development at Park Enterprises." I watched the realization dawn on Richard's face. "You know Park Enterprises, don't you, Richard? The company you've been begging to save you. Every desperate email you sent, every pathetic plea, every humiliating proposal, they all came to me. I've been reading your begging letters for 4 years." Richard's champagne glass slipped from his hand. It shattered against the marble floor. That sound, that precise moment of destruction. That's where I started this story. That's impossible, Richard stammered. His face had gone completely white. Is it? Is it impossible that a black girl from Walmart could be smarter than you? Could you outplay you? Could systematically destroy you while you were too busy being racist to notice? Victoria grabbed his arm. The deal. The $875 million deal. Oh, that. I pulled up the contract on my screen. The one that expires in... I checked my watch. 3 minutes. The one you've leveraged everything for. Your company, your properties, your reputation. That deal? Please, Richard whispered. We'll lose everything. I know, I smiled. That's the point. You can't do this. Actually, I can, but first I want everyone here to know why. I turned to address the room. 450 people. All recordings. All witnessing. Richard Morrison, would you like to tell everyone about Nia Laurent? Or should I? His face went from white to grey. I don't know what you're talking about. No. October 22nd, 2008. You called my father to the office at 11:17 at night. Told him there was a critical server emergency. The security guard remembers because you specifically sent him on break 30 minutes early. Richard's hands started shaking. The cameras mysteriously malfunctioned between 11:30 and midnight. Just long enough for someone to enter through the maintenance entrance, shoot my father 3 times in the chest, and steal his software blueprints. I wasn't even there, Richard protested weakly. You were at dinner with Councilmember Harrison until 10:48. Your receipt proves it. That gave you plenty of time to meet Derek Chen, the man you paid $60,000 to murder my father. The ballroom erupted in gasps, screams, shock. You can't prove that, Richard said, but his voice had no strength. Can't I? Derek Chen testified 20 months ago. Terminal lung cancer made him want redemption before he died. He's in witness protection. It has been for 14 months. Federal prosecutors have his full confession. The murder weapon with your fingerprints on the payment envelope. Bank records showing the $60,000 withdrawal. Every text message you sent him. Everything. Victoria collapsed into a chair. You told me it was a robbery. Shut up, Richard snapped at her. You built our entire life on a murdered man's work. On a dead black man's genius that you stole. I turned back to Richard. Nia Laurent created the algorithm that built Morrison Tech solutions. My father spent 4 years perfecting it. You stole it. Filed the patent under your name 7 months after you had him killed. Built a billion-dollar empire on his corpse. 2 minutes left. Please. Marcus grabbed my hand. I love you. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. I yanked my hand away. You didn't know. You didn't know your father was a murderer. Maybe not. But you knew I was black. You knew your family was racist. And you stood there smiling while they destroyed me. That's almost worse. We'll do anything, Victoria begged. We'll apologize. Make it right. Can you bring my father back? Can you give me back the childhood you stole? Can you undo 16 years of pain? 1 minute. We're sorry, Victoria sobbed. No, you're terrified. There's a difference. 30 seconds. Please, Richard screamed. I'm begging you. Like my father begged for his life while Derek Chen shot him. Like my mother begged for help paying his funeral costs while you were filing his patents. Like I begged your family to treat me like a human being. 10 seconds. Don't do this, Marcus whispered. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I pressed reject. The notification flashed. Morrison Tech Solutions acquisition denied. Richard's phone exploded with calls. Board members screaming. Banks demanding payment. Investors fleeing. The Morrison empire built on my father's grave crumbled in real time. But I wasn't done. Wait, I said. I said wait! The room froze. Rejecting the deal was just phase 1. I pulled up another app. For the past 15 minutes, this entire reception has been streaming live on social media. Every racist comment, every insult, every moment of hatred. It's all been recorded and broadcast to 300,000 people watching in real time. Victoria looked at the cameras in pure horror. You recorded us? Every word, every laugh, every moment you thought you were safe in your racism. And Park Enterprises isn't just walking away. We're shorting your stock. We're publicly betting against you. By market close tomorrow, Morrison Tech solutions will be worthless. You planned this, Victoria whispered. Every moment of it. For 4 years. Every time you called me ghetto, I filed it away. Every time you mocked my hair, my skin, my background, I added it to the case. Every time you made me feel small, I got stronger. You taught me patience. You taught me planning. You taught me that revenge isn't a dish served cold. It's a dish served in front of 450 witnesses with cameras rolling. I started walking toward the exit. The crowd parted like I was radioactive. Oh, one more thing. That prenup you forced me to sign, the one saying I owe you $15 million if we divorce, it's void, signed under fraudulent circumstances, like hiding a murder. Marcus's face crumbled. I have nothing left. I know. Welcome to how my mother felt 16 years ago, except she didn't murder anyone to lose it all. She just lost her husband to your murdering father. I reached the door, turned back one final time. Margaret, you called me entertaining. You were right. This has been the most entertaining day of my entire life. Victoria, you spent years trying to make me acceptable. You never realized I was never trying to fit in. I was trying to burn it all down. I walked out. Behind me, the reception hall erupted in chaos, screaming, crying, the sound of an empire dying, the sound of justice. The aftermath was biblical. Within 12 hours, Morrison Tech Solutions stock crashed 98%. Within 24 hours, Richard Morrison was arrested for first-degree murder. Victoria was arrested as an accessory. Every property seized. Every account is frozen. The video went nuclear. 427 million views in 72 hours. It became the most watched wedding video in internet history. Not because it was beautiful, because it was justice. Richard's trial lasted 3 months. Derek Chen testified from witness protection. The evidence was overwhelming. Murder weapon with Richard's prints, bank records, text messages. A paper trail that proved everything. The jury deliberated for 47 minutes. Guilty. Life without parole. When the judge read the sentence, Richard broke down completely. I killed Nia Laurent. I stole his life's work. I built everything on a lie. I destroyed a family for money. I deserve this. Victoria got 18 years as an accessory, her last words to me in the courtroom. I hope you're happy now. I looked her in the eyes. I'm not happy, but I'm finally at peace, and that's more than you deserve. Today, I run the Nia Laurent Foundation. We invest in Black-owned tech startups. We provide scholarships for kids who look like me, who come from where I came from, who need someone to believe in them. I still work at Walmart 1 shift per month, not because I need the money. Because there's no shame in honest work. The only shame is in stealing, lying, and murdering to build your empire. I keep that $39 dress framed in my office. Below it a plaque. This dress destroyed an $800 million empire built on stolen dreams and black blood. Never underestimate the power of patience, preparation, and a woman who has nothing left to lose except her dignity. And I never lost that. To everyone watching this who's been mocked, belittled, underestimated, dismissed because of your skin, your background, your bank account, your zip code, listen to me. Your moment is coming. Document everything. Build in silence. Learn everything they don't expect you to know. Master everything they assume you can't. And when the moment comes, when they're comfortable in their cruelty, when they're confident in their superiority, when they're laughing at your clearance rack dress, end them. Not with violence, not with anger, with precision, with evidence, with the one thing they never expected from you. Excellence. This is Nia Laurent. I wore a $39 dress to my own wedding and used it to destroy a $1 billion dynasty. I turned my father's murder into his memorial. I transformed their racism into their ruin. I converted their mockery into their downfall. And if I had to do it all again, I'd wear an even cheaper dress. Because revenge doesn't have a price tag. But justice is priceless. If this story shook you, if it made you feel something deep in your chest, drop a comment right now. Tell me about your own revenge story. Tell me about the moment you realized the people looking down on you were actually beneath you. Tell me about the time you won when everyone expected you to lose. Hit that subscribe button if you want more stories about people who refused to stay victims, people who turned pain into power, people who understood that the best revenge isn't getting mad, it's getting even. And let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I see viewers from every corner of the world where people deal with racism, classism, and people who think money makes them better than you. Let's build a community of people who refuse to bow, who refuses to break, who understands that patience and preparation will always, always defeat arrogance and cruelty. Your moment is coming. Are you ready?